Do you have any idea how much walking, hiking, or running can change your life as far as making new friendships? Hey, this is Coach Lisa from the Running University, and I'm here to help you put the fun in your run. And one of the first things that I was so surprised about when I started my walking and running journey was the people that I met and how most of those people have become really my friends now. So let's really get into this. This is something that I don't think people really think about as far as when they're looking for a hobby, especially as we're aging women, right? Maybe you're an empty nester, or maybe you used to run a long time ago, but you think you're maybe too old to get back into it. Let me tell you, the amount of friends, good quality friends that you can make from just starting or continuing your walking and your running journey is incredible. It's exactly one of probably the number one reasons why I really love to encourage women to find other women that are doing these same things. Because when you find like-minded women, so many different things can happen. So let me ask you this. Why would you want to find new friends at our age? First of all, there are a ton of studies out there that talk about the importance of being social, especially as we age. As a matter of fact, if you follow the Blue Zones, which was basically a study done on, I can't remember how many cities, but cities that had the highest amount of centenarians, so people who are over 100 years old, and their social life was one of the number one reasons why they are living that long. So finding a group of like-minded women will definitely help you live longer. Like, how awesome is that? And of course, as we're aging, we want to keep the quality of our lives. One of the other things that I've seen in my TRU Tribe, as far as this goes, is the amount of inspiration that you get from other women at this age. So if you start meeting other women and, maybe somebody's doing their first 50K. We have this happen all the time in our tribe. Somebody who's 64 years old is going to do her first 50K. And if you're 40 and you're finding this group of women, our group of women that do this, of course you're thinking, wow, how can I be like her? So the amount of inspiration and getting out of your comfort zone that you'll be able to do, not only to have the courage to help you do that because you see your friends doing it, but also it's so much easier to do something really out of your comfort zone when you have the support of other women who may or may not have done that exact thing, right? But just having other women who know where you are at this stage in your life and, supporting you. This happens all the time. We just had one of our ladies, as a matter of fact, do her first ultra, and it had taken a couple of times to get there. And I think she said when she finished, she had like 70 text messages from women in the tribe, other friends, even numbers she didn't even recognize. So really, not only will a group of women help encourage you to do things out of your comfort zone, which is also going to improve the quality of your life, but they're also going to be there to support you. The other big thing about having a big support group of women is that it's so important for our mental health. Having support, especially as we're aging and we're transitioning through different periods in our life, and having other women who have lived through it. So for example, even though, again, the TRU Tribe, the catalyst is walking and running that brought us together, but as we're aging, we've had, women who have lost their parents and that are grieving and trying to get through that. We've had women who become empty nesters and how to deal with that and how to set new boundaries. So many different things. And when you have a community of women that you can then maybe even go on a walk or run on and share these experiences with, man, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're staying healthy, you're getting healthy, and you're hanging out with other women who have gone through maybe these same things, and it just makes it so much easier. So again, I never thought when I started this journey of running for myself personally that this would be one of the biggest side effects that I would have. As a matter of fact, I have some great friends that I love dearly that are, I'd say, my best friends, but they're not in my walking and running community, and I hardly see them. Whereas I see my walker and running friends, and even though I'm their coach, they're still my friends because that's the relationship that we have. Another great way that this has worked for me is when you might have a charity that you feel really strongly about, or maybe you're a breast cancer survivor, for example, and you can find an event. So the Breast Cancer 3-Day was one of the events that I did for several years. As a matter of fact, my 𝙀𝙨 team raised over $1 million over a time span of 16 years. But I remember I started that team with only 5 women, and we kept growing and growing. So again, we were walking for the Breast Cancer 3-Day. So not only were we getting the health factor in, we were helping raise money for the charity. So helping it make, breast cancer easier for women and to increase the survivor rate of breast cancer. But then we just created these friendships that are still there for me. They're lasting a lifetime. Here are some ways that you can find women in this age group to walk and run with. And again, it's going to take a little bit of courage, but I guarantee you, once you find it, it will change your life. So number one, look for, start local, I guess, is the best way if you want to meet people in person, right? Look for meetup.com is great. There's a neighborhood app that you can use. Facebook, of course, is very popular, but looking for local groups of walkers, runners, hikers, use those words when you're searching. Maybe just Google walking clubs near me. Now, some of them may be co-ed, and that's great too. If you want a co-ed group, that's fine, but I personally like women only. No offense to any men watching this, but women just have a different energy, and I think, men tend to be a little more competitive. It just changes the energy. So there's a time and a place, but if that's for you, go for it. But look for hiking clubs, walking clubs, running clubs. And trust me, I remember when I first started, every person who messaged me was like, I'm going to be your slowest person. Okay, that's the biggest fear, especially if you're a beginner. It's all good. Don't worry about it. You know what? Look for a group that says all levels. Now, I've been to those groups, and sometimes they're not really all levels, but just trust me, you will find your tribe. And I say that lightly, but your vibe attracts your tribe. So just keep looking and you will find your people. However, the other option is you can even find an online group. And since COVID, as much as online may not be ideal, we do so many things online in the TRU Tribe. I've got a woman in Mexico City. I've got women around the country who I've never even met in person, but we've been on Zoom calls together. We have these conversations. We have these talks about these things that are happening in our lives. So find an online group and, hey. So I decided to do this video today because as I'm recording this, and maybe it's irrelevant, maybe it is, it's Global Running Day today, tomorrow's National Best Friend Day. And that's what prompted me to film this video, because running has so changed my life. And again, not only personally as far as me becoming an ultra runner, which I thought would never happen, but also because it gave me the opportunity to become a running coach and then become the creator of the TRU Tribe team, which is my team of women. And just to see the amount of friendships that have developed over the years. And we take pictures and we think like, wow, we're going to be doing this in another 20 years together. So I've said this several times, just send me an email, lisa@therunninganiversity.com. I'm happy to give you a 30-day free trial. There's no obligation whatsoever. Just shoot me the email and I'll have you come in, and you can come in and meet this amazing group of women. Again, I say we're 50 plus. We probably have women over 30 in the group. So, generally speaking, sure, it's an older pro-aging group of women. So important that I am embracing this pro-aging movement as well, because hey, we're staying physically healthy, we're keeping ourselves mentally healthy, and that can only improve the quality of our lives as we age. And let's face it, as we grow older, it's so important to have these connections. So again, hey, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget, because I drop a video every single week that's going to give you some mindset tips, some motivation and inspiration, maybe some technique tips. So please subscribe to my channel. And again, shoot me an email, lisa@therunninganiversity.com. I'd love to have you in my group. And here we go for today's version of Mystery Metal, Memory Metal. Again, I love to change this up regardless. It's, oh wow, okay, adrenaline. It doesn't have the year. Here is the Adrenaline Night Runs. This is one of the Aravaipa races, one of my favorite local running companies, and actually huge history on the Adrenaline Night Run. This was my very first ever night race, and the very first ever night race for a lot of my group. I remember my good friend Elaine, before this race, taking us out on the trail at nighttime. I don't think I was not a coach at the time when this was happening, I don't think. So she would, have us go out and practice running at nighttime. Of course, you get headlights. There's so much equipment. If you're thinking like, why would you go run on a trail at nighttime? Trust me, I'll be the first person to tell you that I remember thinking that was the stupidest thing anybody would do. As a matter of fact, my ex-brother-in-law had broken his toe on a night race, and I remember thinking, why would anybody do that? But then I thought, well, I got to get out of my comfort zone. Let me try something new. Everybody's raving about it. And can I tell you that right now, my absolute favorite running, racing, running, hiking is at night on a trail. There's nothing more peaceful, spiritual to me than hearing my own footsteps and being out in the middle of the desert, and maybe there's a full moon, and it's just an amazing feeling. Now, I'm a bit of a back of the packer, so the first thing people always ask are, the snakes and the animals. Sometimes you hear some coyotes. Trust me, most of the animals are more afraid of us than we are afraid of them. So, but as being a back of the packer, usually that means that everybody who's in front of me has already scared everything away. So I don't really worry about that too much. But the Adrenaline Night Run was my very first night trail race, and really I got hooked after that. This one here was local at McDowell Mountain, which is also one of my favorite places to go trail running here in the valley. But it was so much fun because we all got out of our comfort zone together. And again, this is like the power. I didn't even have my TRU tribe then. So this was just my group of friends that we used to run together and do running adventures. Again, I can't remember if I was a coach or not at this point, regardless. But it helped me get out of my comfort zone. And again, I remember thinking I would never be a runner. I'd never be a trail runner. I'd never be a night trail runner. Yet here I am. It is one of my favorite types of running. So you just never know what's going to happen when you get out of your comfort zone just a little bit, or maybe just a lot, especially when you have a group of people that you can do it with. It makes it so much easier. So thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get all the videos when I post them.